But the psychic retreat, the withdrawal into a private inner world to avoid external reality, gets interrupted by the sheer reality of proximity, family expectations, relational demands, work obligations, and therefore what we see is emotional intensity. This is why people with narcissistic traits can feel especially reactive during this season. It's not that they're simply being self-centered or difficult, typical labels that you may hear if you're looking into the holidays and narcissism. But what I'm suggesting is that their defensive structure, their psychic retreat, their place of safety is being intruded upon. The outside world begins pressing in, and the usual distance that you rely on starts to collapse. When that protective inner space becomes harder to access, it becomes much more difficult to hide inside the familiar refuge that typically keeps painful feelings at bay. In other words, narcissistic behavior is not just exhibitionistic or controlling. It is often a form of defensive withdrawal, a way to protect a fragile inner self that fears being seen, misunderstood, or criticized. At some point, we'll explore these painful emotions more fully, but I'll tell you now, they often also include shame and a sense of irrelevance and a profound feeling of aloneness. And yes, aloneness even when with others at these holiday gatherings. When the holidays disrupt the retreat, the person can feel exposed. And it's this exposure, not malice or selfishness, again, which you typically hear, but it's this exposure that drives much of the tension. Now, on the surface, it's not uncommon. You may see selfishness, a lack of empathy. It's not to say that these things are not true, but what I'm getting at here is what drives that type of behavior.